This presentation speaks to the guidelines for testing fume hoods. It's called ASHRAE110 in the United States, and I think the rest of the industrialized world, except for Canada. Canada has their own set called MD15028, and quite frankly, they're totally unrealistic. If you tested the thousands and thousands of fume hoods in Canada and compared it to MD15028, 95% of them would fail. Anyway, fume hood certification is to be done on an annual basis. For existing fume hoods, there must be tracer gas verification every 5 years. And if this has not been done, it is suggested that a budget be included to do such as soon as possible. It is suggested that these tests can be phased in 20% of fume hoods for each year and the next 5 years on an ongoing basis. The ASHRAE110 scope of work tracer gas tests are to prove sash movement containment tests and for VAV fume hoods, VAV response and stability tests. For VAV systems, the two tests can be done at the same time. Preliminary procedures as per ASHRAE110 scope of work. Where access allows, using a smoke pencil, check the integrity of all seals around light and other fixtures. Check that the sash stop is still in place and operates properly. Check that all baffles are in the same position as in previous tests. Determine whether significant sized laboratory equipment inside the hood is the same as for previous tests. Considerations. Visually inspect the fan and motor, pulleys and belt. Is belt at correct tension? There should be approximately a ½ inch of play. Are fan and motor pulleys in good shape? Or are they worn or slipping? Ask the service provider and user if belts and pulleys have been changed since the last set of tests. Inquire as to what the normal sash face working height is. It is usually 300 millimeters, 12 inches, 450 millimeters, 18 inches, can be as much as 600 millimeters, 24 inches. Fume hood tests required as per ASHRAE110 scope of work for a constant air volume fume hood. Annual. Sash velocity test. Cross-draft stratification test. Minimum flow test. Smoke visualization test and smoke containment tests. At a 5-year interval. Tracer gas test. Static sash position. Tracer gas test. Sash movement. Fume hood alarms. Variable air volume fume hood tests. Annual. Sash velocity tests at various openings. Cross-draft stratification tests at various openings. Minimum flow test. Smoke visualization tests at various openings. Smoke containment tests at various openings. VAV response and stability. 5-year interval. Tracer gas test. Static sash positions. Tracer gas test. Effective sash movement. Fume hood alarms. Sash velocity test. Measure the sash opening air velocity at multi-points in the sash face opening. The average desired for general fume hoods is 100 feet per minute, plus or minus 10%. The average desired for perchloric fume hoods is 120 feet per minute, plus or minus 10%. Cross-draft stratification test. Measure the cross-draft velocity from all directions across the sash face opening for the fume hood. It should not exceed 50% of sash velocity tests. Minimum flow test. Test to ensure fume hood minimum flow requirements are met. Smoke visualization test. Using a handheld smoke emitter, test for blowback of smoke from the fume hood. Smoke containment test. Using a bulk smoke emitter, test for smoke exhaust and smoke total clearance from the fume hood. Flow response test. Raise and lower the sash 3 times during a 5-minute period. The sash is in the closed position for 30 seconds, then to the working height for 60 seconds during 3 cycles. Return to stable control within 3 seconds, as proven by sash opening velocity tests. This test and the sash movement containment test can be done simultaneously. Flow stability test. The sash is closed for 5 minutes and open for 5 minutes, then check for stable control flow. It is measured with a velocity probe placed at the lower baffle vent opening. This test checks the ability to control at minimum and maximum sash open position. Tracer gas test. A mannequin with a sensor positioned at its nose is used. The test gas emitter is moved left, right, and center, as is the mannequin. Gas used for fume hood tracer gas tests is sulfur hexafluoride, FF6. Sash movement containment tests. The sash is closed for 30 seconds and open for 60 seconds through 3 cycles, and gas tracer tests are done. Thank you. That is the completion of what is suggested for ASHRAE tests. Take care now.